Garage is the next morning. We're gonna put the tank in this morning. Before I do, I want to make sure that my gauge and my sending unit are gonna play nice. So I took the battery here. I want to set it up, basically just a bench test, because once this guy goes in that guy and it gets mounted underneath the truck, that's not the time to find out we got issues. So I'm gonna bench test this here. I'll show you how to do it. And if it's good, we'll install it, and then we're gonna toss it in the truck, okay? Hang tight. Okay, so basically, what we have on the back of the gauge here, I kind of marked it up with a marker so you guys can see it, is a positive sign. So that's for, positive side of the ignition, or ignition source, I guess is what it'll get. And then we have a ground, and then the S is for the signal. And the signal heads right back to this guy, to this one here. So it's pretty simple. We need a positive, we need a ground, and then we need a wire to run back to this guy. Pretty straightforward. On this end, we need the signal, and then we need a ground. Basically, all this does is measure resistance. Let me show you. So if I hook up the ground and then I hook up 12 volts, it should just read like infinity, right? I should really do dry runs on this stuff before I start peaking off, but I believe that this is just gonna run all the way over. Yeah, see that? So she's nothing, and then if there's no resistance, she just goes way past full until actually it runs out of throw. All right, so what we'll do is we'll set this guy up. So I'm gonna run this ground, treat it like a chassis ground. So this guy's got this wire set up for ground. We're gonna ground that out under the tank. Let's throw that over here like that. So that's grounded. And we'll take this guy here for the signal. We'll run that guy off there. And we'll run that over here like that. And then for our ground, I'll run this guy off here. And I'll run him up here. Now, when I add 12 volts, we should see this thing come to life. And she's saying she's half. Okay, let's take her down to empty. I don't know if you can see that. And here, I'll put her at half. It should be reading half. And then I'll move her up to full. We have full? Yeah. So everything's looking good here. So I feel good about installing this into there and installing this in the dash. I understand how my wiring is supposed to be. So I should have no surprises there. We can move on. So let's do it. Okay, with that test out of the way, I suppose we can move on and install this guy. So it's only going to install one way, I believe. So we definitely want this kicking out this way. So it looks like that's where she's going to go. Okay, so now with the testing out of the way, we can go ahead and get this guy in. So this only fits in one way. So you don't have to get too worried about it. See this fuel line, this is the pickup, comes out the side like this. This guy goes in here. Can this guy go in separate ways? I don't know. I think this guy goes in there. Oh, about like that. All right. Okay, I like that. It's in there nice and good. It seems to be in a good spot. That's not going anywhere. Next up, I want to take these little tabs off. So if you actually have a 67, or is it 69 to 72, whatever, those Blazers, Jimmy Suburbans, you need those, but we don't. They're just going to be in our way. So we'll take those off, give them a couple pulls like that. Same on this one, and there's 4 of them. I don't know that you need to watch me do all 4, but you're not missing anything. They all look the same. Here's 2, and here's the other 2 here. Okay, so we're underneath the back of the panel here. We're just going to take a look at what we got going on. So up here you can see our 2 hoses. That looks too big, and that looks too big. Both of these hoses, I don't know who put these on. Obviously the previous owner before I bought it, because these don't look very old. But yeah, maybe I'll see if I can get that hose and that hose. This one almost looks like 3/8 fuel line. We'll see. So yeah, so I'll disconnect these hoses here. Got this J hook here, which is kind of surprising because I got a bolt through here. The J hook is typically so you can service a fuel tank, right? We'll see what's going on there. Wow, that fuel tank goes right up there. Okay, so I'm gonna disconnect these. I think I'll go around on the other side where the fuel line comes in. I'll disconnect the fuel line there. Maybe we'll take off this J hook and see what happens. Looks like somebody just took some ready rod and made their own J hook. You see that? It's pretty mangled. Then we'll see what's going on here. There's another one back there. I don't see anything. Looks like there's 1 bolt here, 1 J hook, and then we'll see what's on the other side. But if you look down there, you can see that piece of like tin foil hanging off there. Somebody has already patched this tank once, and it's got a bit of a leak. And if you look underneath, I don't know. It does leak, but doesn't leak much. So I don't know if somebody needed a tank that would work. Maybe repair that properly. I suppose this would do it. I wonder if this thing's just gonna fall out once I take off that J hook. Well, you guys might get a show yet. All right, hang tight. I'm gonna grab some tools and we'll get started. Okay, so the other side is the same as this side in that it had this 1 lone bolt up here, 9/16. I don't know if that's factory or not. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. And then down here, same thing on the J-bolt. On the other side, it's just a J-bolt. There's no nut on there. So the one thing that side does have is the fuel line still hooked up, but I don't care. We can tear it out. We're putting a new one in anyway. So let's take this off, then we'll take the J-hook. There we go, beauty. And now the J-hook. So the tank should come down with this. Come on, baby. Easy breezy. Okay, we're free. My current fuel tank doesn't work, but she sounds pretty empty. Yeah, there's that pinhole leaking out of it now. That's not very empty at all. Oh boy. All right, let me go get that fuel line over there off. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if you want. Okay, so I guess I can't really say it wasn't grounded because I don't really know. All right, let's get this guy out of here. Oh boy. Oh yeah, she's got some fuel in her all right. Motherfucker. Okay, I thought I'd do a little side-by-side because in hindsight, I believe this is the factory tank. And we'll get into why in a bit here. So off the side here, I see we have the extra vent off of here. This would be the passenger side. So that's kind of nice. I'll run a hose off of that. Be good to vent it. Or sorry, this might be for the return line off the Sniper. On this one, it doesn't have that here. This is just the you got your ground, you got your sending unit, and you got your fuel out. If you look down the sides, they're pretty close to one another. I can see why people use that tank to replace this tank. I'll just set you up on the tripod here and I'll flip these around. It's the other side where there is some differences, but I think we can make it all work. Okay. Let me just pop it off of here. So on our original, this thing's actually got a downward, which is weird because this was holding fuel in here. I think it was creating a problem. Anyway, so you can see that one just has a little spout, and this one has the spout that comes out and then over. And this guy here is just straight out like that. I think I'll pick that up with some new hose, and then same with this. So this one's obviously much longer than that guy, and I'll pick that up with some fuel rated line as well. And again, we have extra vent hole over here, so that's good. I can use it. But if you look dimensionally, they line up pretty good to each other. And I think she's going to be okay. So this guy here, yeah, unfortunately, this guy did have a little bit of a leak down here. And somebody tried to patch it, and it kind of worked. You know, it's funny, I didn't have like a stinky garage or anything. You can see it's wet though, it weeps. But, you know, I never came into a garage that smells like gas. Probably just time for a new repair, I guess. Probably JB Weld there. I don't know. I don't see the pinhole, but I'm sure it's there. Anyway, if you're in the Edmonton area, I don't like throwing this stuff out. But yeah, if you're in the Edmonton, Alberta area and you want this thing for mock-up, or if you want to repair it and use it, know that there's a pinhole down here, and I think this guy actually got stretched a bit, so it needs a little JB Weld repair in there. Or maybe you just want to mock it up on your rig, you can. Or maybe you just need this neck, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't really matter. If you want it, let me know. You can come pick it up and just have it. But I am in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So don't get hold of me if you live in Kentucky, because I ain't shipping it. But if you're local, you can just come and have it. You don't have to, you don't got to buy it or anything. You can bring me a coffee, that'd be great. All right, we got that done. Let's look at getting this one down there. Let's go. Okay, so now I'm just prepping the new tank to go in. So I measured off how much I need of this 1/2" ID fuel line, and then also this 1 3/8" ID fuel line as a sleeve for the tank and the inlet, the fuel inlet. What was on here before was a chunk of radiator hose. I went to go and find 1 3/8" and I couldn't. I ended up settling for 1.5", and I had to do some build up on there. You don't even want to know about it. I don't want to show you. This is good. This is a vent going up into outer space. I'll have to put a tip on there like you would find on a rear diff or something like that, and I will. Back on this side, so this is the fuel pickup. So I got, I don't know, 3.5 feet here. This is gonna drop down, and I'll put the fuel pump somewhere in here, so I'll be chopping that down anyway. And this is my return line, and as you can see, that is the full wrap. So I'm gonna run this line all the way to the front. We'll run that up. We'll see how she goes. I wonder if I shouldn't have ran that off that side, because it is gonna have to cross over at some point. Oh well, we'll figure it out as we go, I guess. But yeah, maybe I'll swap that back to that side, because all the fuel injection stuff comes up on the driver's side of the truck anyway. We'll give that some thought and see where we end up. I should figure that out right now. All right, I'm gonna go do that. Next thing on our to-do list is the straps. So we have 2 straps. We're lucky that we have one original strap, because now we can bend this guy to match. Now, this isn't bent the way that it needs to be bent. In fact, it's bent this way for ease of shipping. This needs to be straightened out and then actually bent this way, and then this side bent up, and then it'll be ready to go on there. So I'm going to go prepare this. I will use this as my template, and I'll just kind of go with my bends so it matches that, and then I'll compare it to my gas tank when I'm done, and we'll toss her in. Hang tight. Okay, so I got those bent up. Nothing fancy. They just kind of follow the same contour as this guy here. Let me show you. On here. So it just kind of goes in there, follows along. Now on the other side, on this side it doesn't quite reach. And the reason for that is these J-hooks. So the J-hooks will actually hang down from inside here. And then that's what'll tighten it down. And that's how you maintain the gas tank, right? You take that off and you can access it. Anyway, enough talk. I think it's time to slap this bad boy in. So stay with me and let's go do it. Okay, I didn't get much footage of me actually bolting it in, but at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot to see there either. So on the other side, there's just 2 nut and bolts here. And then on this side is the J-hooks. So you just basically slide your tank in, you know, make sure your hoses go out where they need to go. These guys, this is your tank. And this is the vent for the fill. This is for the fill here. I still need to put those clamps on. And then that's going to pretty much button it up. I don't know if you can see up top there, I have the ground still needs, I need to clean up a spot and put that wire, ground it properly. But then we're going to be good. So there you have it. It really wasn't too bad. It would have been good to have a friend, I'm not going to lie. But I'm out of friends, so I'm just kind of down here plugging away at this by myself, and it kind of sucks. Highly recommend getting a second set of hands. This back and forth nonsense and the hoses in the way is a lot of fiddling around. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with it. It looks good, it fits good. I haven't put any fuel in it yet, but I will. That's my return line down there. The line I'm gonna draw from. I got a fuel pump and stuff going on for that, so I haven't quite got there yet. At any rate, if you're looking to put a 67 or what is it, 69 to 72 Blazer Suburban tank into your C10, they say it's pretty easy, and I happen to agree. If you're wondering where it's going to kick out, it's going to kick out just above the frame, between the frame and the box. In my case, I got a panel or a Suburban, same deal, it just slips out between there. I'm not crazy about this. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. This actually dips down low and then comes back up. I'm not too sure how that's going to be to fill. I guess we'll find out. So that's going to do it for the tank install. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and stick around because we're going to finish this up. I got to do the fuel pump, run that up front. Get my fuel line set up, and then we're putting the Holly Sniper on. It's coming up probably tomorrow or the next day. Hang tight.